what advice do you give someone, like our trainers, for example, if they notice, I mean, they're not doing all the research maybe to the extent that you are, but what advice do you give someone when you've seen them and you've worked on them and you know that they can do that, but you're seeing that in competition?
Right. So it is a great challenge. And to your point, Wendy, I remember being in a particular UFC fight. It was a world title fight. And I'm getting text messages from everybody after a great camp. Why didn't you do this with him? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't he do this in the middle of the fight? And I think the first thing, the way we should think, or I hate saying so didactically, but the way we can think is, it's natural for some people to be nervous and have some anxiety, and there is nothing wrong with that. So I don't think wasting the energy on combating it like the old thought stoppage, where we say, oh, I better stop thinking this way. Better stop thinking this way. The one thing I have learned, if you're personal training or a strength coach or performance enhancement specialist, the athlete will reveal to you at some given point where they struggle. They may unintentionally do it. They may intentionally do it. And so some of the things you could do is, we talk about that in the PES, right? The really active listening and taking in information from that athlete because they're willing to share it. So what do we do there? Well, if we're not a sports psychologist or a certified mental performance coach, what do you do? Well, if you have, I'll just use an example quickly. You have an athlete, they were a stand-up fighter, very successful, kickboxer, almost a world, maybe a world champ. Now they're transitioning to MMA. And when they're training with you, they say, yeah, I get really nervous on the ground, right? I'm still nervous down there. I don't have the experience. Everybody's yelling a lot of instruction at me. Well, they just revealed to you, and this happens a lot, that that's somewhere where they struggle mentally. What can you do? Well, and if you don't have the background in the mental performance coaching, that's okay. Okay, but what we can do is, how do we take exercises? How do we do drills? How do we do things that may build their confidence in an environment that is less pressure? So, for example, the athlete can't, I'm a little nervous on the ground, Wendy. All right, well, we'll do some hip thrusts. Now, that sounds easy or overly cliche, but it's not, because what you're doing, the intent of personal training, in my view, and the intent of performance enhancement is not only to provide information and safe quality training. It is to get the athlete or the individual to believe that they can do something and that what they're doing at that given time is going to translate to what they want to do.